Iron test, yeah. Kol lechem Yisrael b'tuch tekev hatzor v'adachkus v'golem tzoros hanefesh v'galusa. K'fi shemach b'ech b'nafshay, afal pichin shavluas v'stakta v'sham davka tikta v'seber v'gulas nafshay. La shuba yot b'sparach. Well, it's very, very interesting. As usual, Rav Nosson takes a difficulty. He says the person knows he's in Golas, the person knows he's dachos, it's so hard, he feels it's dachos, pressure, difficulty. He's in pain. He says, okay, I'm in pain. So now what? So once you take that, you have to know that nevertheless, even though you have this feeling, you know where you are, you still have to know. I have to find through even in this place enough hope to know there's hope for me, and that no, it's gonna work. There's stuff here. It's possible. It's not no, it's not also. It can be. There's positive here to also help me get out of where I am, to a better place. Yaakov saw that there was sheber in Mitzrayim. There was food in Mitzrayim. The Darshan says like yesh sheber. There was a shever, literally also means break of the shvira. He also went down to Mitzrayim, way big. That's terrible. It made his life a misery. He saw a goat, go to the grave, mourning. Because I'll say a dead person is forgotten in a year, but he wasn't dead. So you have to forget about him. He's all fresh, and all new, very hard. So difficult.
I understand what?
Yosef went down.
Neshama?
It's so hard.
What was that?
A person after a year is forgotten. A person who dies, there's a Gzeir in Shamayim, is a year. After a year, forgotten. There's a different bechina.
Forgiven? Forgotten.
Huh?
Forgiven?
For a person who died. Forget, yeah, a person who's able to forget. If he wants, it's something.
You forget your family.
Forgetting the person's family or a person very close to them. There's such a bechina where he's forgotten. But he said, so on the one hand, it's a shepherd, it's terrible. But it's also said there's also the Yosef Shali. Joseph's now in charge. Everything changed around for the best. If you would have looked what happened to Yosef, you would have said, wow, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. It seemed like he was okay, now he's back in prison. Is he in charge of the prison? Okay, that's nice, but maybe he'll stay there for his whole life. So what's the big deal? I mean, what's the good here? Nothing. Man from father, away from his father, trying to serve Hashem, never giving up. Like, it's the worst and worse and worse. What's going to be? What happens? He becomes the ruler. The difficulty turned into something good. He saved everybody because of who he was. One of the reasons why we were able to leave Mitzrayim is because of Yosef. As the Zohar says. He took over Mitzrayim, he made a new bris milah, he did all sorts of different things in order to give shlita to the Kedusha there. To give mastery for holiness to the Klal so that we without that, without a Yosef, we wouldn't be finished. That's what the Zohar says, we had no chance. So he had to go there. That's what he said. No, Hashem sent me. What do you mean? This is what I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. That was my job. But at the time, it looked terrible. So you have to know also, I'm like Yosef, I feel like I'm Mitzrayim. I'm living with Potiphar all the time. She's supposed to be made praise every day. She's there for him. It's like not a fun life. It's very difficult. I want Dusha, I want Tahara. It's the opposite. It's coming after what I do. So that's what you think. The person who makes a big he absolutely rejects any such option. He doesn't want. He wants Kedusha. He's working on it. He's trying to run away as well as he can. So forget us beged, how it looks, how it feels, how it appears. All these things that are levush outside throws them out. I don't want to have to do with it. Oh, you do with me. I want Kedusha. I want Tahara. I want Hashem. That's what I want. There's the begging within the Rebbe. This is not worried about clothing or it's not. The material things are not something going to hold him up. He's working very, very much to let go as much as he possibly can. So, if that's what a person's holding by doing it, he gets to his worst. He's thrown into prison, and it's very, very difficult. It's hard for him. He feels like he's suffering for that as well. But he keeps up. He tries till eventually he gets what he has to get, and somewhere else suddenly he's in charge. There's different bechinas. There's Yosef's bechinah of places, the ultimate bechinah of places. So he came to do his malachta. One number says that she was convinced by Yitzhar to do what was wrong at that point, and he was miskabri, overcame and came back, and that gave him rulership. He gave him rulership over everything. His ability to get to him was because he was finally, he was, even though it was so hard, he had a miscalculation, he was able to sign. So Yaakov Avinu is able to sign. And that's why I said, that doesn't mean his picture, it means the aura of Yaakov Avinu. The mitzvah is his portrait, how he beard has. It means what? It doesn't mean his beard. How the beard looked was longer or short. It means the or of Akovinu. It doesn't mean his father or the Racha. It doesn't. There is a mechina. There is a. I don't know. The Mepharshim say principles to teach his parents that could help with such a thing, but the Maisa it doesn't mean. It doesn't only the picture means the hadrach and that. You know, Yaakov was telling him you're going to be on the tomb or not. You have to make a choice now. So this is a mistake. Right. If you're going in this direction, you're off. Nothing be done. It's not coming to Shleim anymore. And he said, what? That's the case. Forget it. I don't care. I just want to do shayf. I made a mistake. Okay, so. Because he feels like, and sometimes he's going to the and it feels even worse, it's even harder, and he falls. But it says, no, sometimes in Bechina where he falls, and that's a sign he's already leaving. Because he had enough fever. He's sick of it. He's sick of it. Enough. Fine, we need such things. I want to do guitar, I want good, I want to be connected to Hashem. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. So he said, yeah, Kiyeshev, there's a certain break, there's a Sheva, there's a break in Mitzrayim, there's a Shvir in Mitzrayim. What's the Shvir? What's the difficulty? What's the set? What's the hardship? If you have them, you notice them. When you work with slaves in Mitzrayim. And that also is a Bechinit brings. Listen, the person, he's suffering, He's suffering, connected to the Torah is very hard. It's hard. So, suffering, who's going to be with me? I'm suffering, it's Gehenna. Yeah, but nevertheless, what happened? It's going to be safe, it's going to be good. Because the person again, the sense of ruchni is when he falls very far, but at a certain point when he comes back, he brings Elokus even where he was in this low place. So that's a revach toshe.
That's what?
He brings Elokus even in this low place. Since he has kalim that are such strong kalim, he can relate them to someone in a very low place. Because I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you're going through. I'm telling you right now, hang on, it's going to be okay. Even you think it's years, there's no such thing. No, so that's what the person says. Everything that seems like impossibly hard, he feels like hopeless and desperate. All these like words which are so not Yishma. It's like, he's dying or whatever. It's like, that is an advantage and it's going to be okay.
Is it an advantage?
It's an advantage, it's going to be okay. That's what Reb Nosson is. That's what Reb Nosson says. Right here. Right here. But he says in a lot of places, he says in different places here, but right here, that's what he says. You need to take this, and so that's what Chazal explains Chazal. You say, oh, it's good, and it's bad. There's a Sheva is a break, Sheva is so hard, and it's savor.
I didn't understand the play in the words. Is it sever?
Is it Sheva?
Exchanging the Sheva?
It's like savor putting off, it's good, it's severe,
it's a play in the word.
Yeah. What does this sever mean?
Interchangeable, the Shim and the Samach?
Yes, it's Samach and Sin are interchangeable. That's how he's working on. That's what he's doing. Again, so it seems so hard, and then no, we're going to take all the sparks out of the clippers, and that's what it means again. The person able to, like someone else who has the same problems. I went through this already. I had people done all over the place, millions of people. I'm telling you right now, hang on, it's going to change. You think it's all over, it's not beginning to be over. It's all baloney, it's all lies. This is all last week, but you're not really 8 feet tall and 1,000 pounds, weighing 1,000 pounds just because you feel that way. Right. You have to go on the scale, see what you weigh. Maybe it's unfortunately too much more than you'd like. True. And the person that he's taller, he's shorter, but he's not what he thinks. You didn't become part of the Yitzvachim, it's all just in your head. It's an illusion, it's a lie. If you're working out, you pick these sparks from where you are. That's the idea, that's what Shuv is about. He said, this is the truth. These are the key words. When a person is shvira, it's breaking, everything's broken. He feels like everything's faulty and broken and destroyed. In that, the Hashem should protect us from such places. So when a person has to hope, the hope and what's going to be, the ability to deal with this, and that's help him. The tip was going to get to help him get to the place where he's able to, it's severe, it's workable, he can do it. That's he needs to find that hope. Same thing with every person. That's what the Rebbe says in Ches, the place where Moshe talks about this a lot, that when a person feels so far from Hashem, he has no idea he's being drawn close to Hashem. Wow. Because now I know that I want to reject this garbage, that I don't want to stay with garbage can anymore. Wow. If a person doesn't feel that nichud, the person he's like hanging out, he's going here, he's going there, he has no, that's what Nosson says, he says a person, when you feel, if you make chesed nefesh and you say, oh, it's really bothering me that I'm in such a place. I'm in, you go outside, it's this big green place. There are rats there, cats, and me, what's going on? I don't want to be in such places. I want to be in a good place. So that's just, well, why does it bother you? Because you have a moon. Oh, He said, the person is a chofshi, the real bad deal, the first thing he does is say, well, it doesn't matter what I do, right? So if you know it matters, that's already a very good total. It's very, very great. You can build on that to anywhere, to anything. So the first thing, this practice is the beginning of the very greatest conflict. You know you're far. Something called there's a hastar. This is Hashem. A person knows he's far. Hashem's hiding from him. Hashem's hidden. But this person has no idea what. Fine, the same as anybody else. Don't worry about it. Whatever happened doesn't matter. It makes no difference. And that's not true. Of course, it makes a difference. But everything can change around to be good. And now I can pick up even bigger sparks. And all this richuk is really to bring to bigger kirub. Because that's what I want. Why is it bothering me? Why does this bother me? Why do I feel bad? Because I want to be good. I want good. That's why. Oh, very good. So I want good. So they will help me get good. You feel this place, I'm good from here. I did a big. I went on a journey of hundreds of miles. It's not a little place. I'm like, wow. I'm like, it's like a person's in the lowest place. Suddenly he goes to the highest place. It's great. It's phenomenal. It's the biggest iskarvus that you really can change around to the biggest aliyah. A person can change around. All the hard thing is even the mezina can become mitzvahs, can become schuyos. It's an incredible place as we're trying to get to. It's called the Chumiabba. It's the Chumiabba you do by working when you can. It's the first step Chumiabba. Even when it's hard, even when it's difficult, whatever I can.
It's Chumiabba.
That's he says. That's the first step because you're showing your love for Hashem. You're showing your love for Hashem because you're willing to take that step. You're willing to do what you need to do. It's more also it's Chaim. I think it's more Muslim for him also the earlier ones. This idea that you should, when it's hard, you do it anyway. And it shows Avos Hashem. Otherwise, why are you doing it? It's not fun for me now. I don't feel like going to Seder. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. Well, it's a mitzvah. I'll do it anyway. Oh, why? Well, where does that come from? Why should you? You're revealing. You're bringing out big Avos Hashem. It's Mahamud. Doing it for love. I know this is what I need to do. Again, it doesn't mean a person who's feels depressed that he did it. What an idiot I am. Or he feels, or he feels, I did it because it's like some kind of a kapara. That's not the idea. You want to forget it. The person's struggling, he's fighting in a good way, the right way. That's what he is. That's where he is.
That's the start of Jum'ah?
That's how you get to Jum'ah. That's why it's so hard. They tell us when another person moves. No, it's too late. It's not too late, but start moving. Do what I can. Feel fine. Start again. Hashem tells Yaakov, I will go down with you in Mitzrayim and I will also bring you out. The movement is fun, keep passing them with so Golshevtzky. The Sfarim explain that this means all the goals and every goal. Hashem says, I'm going to take you down, I'm going to bring you up. Every reader, every aliyah that goes in every YouTube is included in this. This statement, I took you down to Mitzrayim, you had to go down, you were a slave to Nebuchadnezzar. Not the greatest, the Paro is not a really big tzaddik, a rabbi, the Yitzhahar is the Klipa, and take care also.
Goals, the real goals is when a person's Amunah falls?
That's one way, that's one in yon. A person's a lot of different examples of goals. One of those goals, a person gets angry all the time. One of those goals, a person can't get out of bed at all. One of those goals is a person who does this negative behavior, that negative behavior, whatever he does. That's all it matters, it's all different aspects of goals.
Person has to go from these goals and like these moon is goals and then
there is such a bechina, but it's not so push. It's very, very complicated. But we don't have to worry about what the exact thing is. Why does she put me through these tests? I don't have to worry about that. I just need to keep working and working until I get out. Unless says you will get out. You just need to hang on and do what you can. Every reader, every descent, every ascent that every Jew goes through, it's all in this pasuk. I'm going to take you to I'm going to take you out. The main thing is to strengthen yourself. Person strengthens very, very much. In the Urida, from there, Hashem will have a plan. He's going to help me. It's not over. It's giving me life, giving me breath. Why? Because I can still do Misaka. I can still change everything. Deliver me, bring me closer to Him, even from this very distant, very hard place. Never let go, never abandon His nation. Golshevtzky said, my feet will slip. Your kindness, Hashem, supported me. In many places it says this idea that we see Hashem, He prepares before the Makkah and He changes everything around and never giving up. Incredible things. It's just like amazing very chazar, very strong. There's no giving up. והנה בפסק הזה, ואנכי ער עמך יש בו 3 קושיות. 30 oasis. And this pasuk, if I would go down with you, I would pick you, I would take you out. It's divided into 3 different parts. Each one of 10 letters. Aleph, Mem, Yud, Minzai. Aleph, right? That's this pasuk. That's what we said.
Shem Mem Beis? I know, it's very nice.
It's a different shame. It's its own shame.
Ushayetzion is the book from the Tefillas, no?
Yes, it's brought in the Tefillas. It's the Hainu Kima Oisa Rishon Shalach Haluka Rishon Shor is Aleph. Oisa Rishon Shalach Haluka Shnia Shor is Beis. Oisa Rishon Shalach Haluka Shnia Oisa Yud Mezvan Noichi.
Wanted to buy this book. It's out of print.
You can get it still, I think. They're different prints, they're different versions. When we say Yitzhak Hashem Aleph, Chen Kul Mahalach. Yeah, it's a whole Mahalach. How do you get these shames? It comes out this beautiful shames in this puzzle. What did these shames mean? We say Yochel Hainu is Chatzkel. Rav Nassim doesn't want to teach us the Kabbalah and how it comes out. He says that the Bekitzer, which exact, right? How do you get this? Where do you get this shame from? But the main point is, the shame itself gives us a very powerful chizuk. What is this chizuk that this shame is giving us? The first, the reader, I will go down with you, and you read up and forward. In there also, the first 10 letters. Also, you have these Imitzrayim, I will take you out, all these things, all of that is in the Aliyah. In the arena, you have the Aliyah. Because the Yud of this same, the main Aliyah is the Yud, of course, and that's really what we say before. The truth is the Yud is the main thing. You want to get to the Chachma, you want to get to the highest place. So, bottom line, the Indian of what we're dealing with, the Indian of what we're looking for, get to know. And this pasuk is Merum is a shame, and we're learning a shame of how we leave. And that shame is also alluded to in the Yurida. Because the Yurida, like you were saying, is how you masakin. The Yurida is how a person rectifies the problem. That's why regardless if a person has bad thoughts, he's rectifying all the times he had bad thoughts or bad mice. If he just holds on to fight back, he rectifies all the bad, he picks everything up. He picks everything up. So if the Yud of Anochi is the Yud of it's the shame. So if that will take you down, even that itself is the shame. And that's the main ticket is that Yud. So, that's the Aleph, that's the Aleph. So Anochi and Anochi, you have this Yud, you have this Aleph. Those two things are also part of the same shame. The Yurida is also part of Hashem's plan for a person. Hashem has a plan. You don't know what the plan is, we have no idea. Hashem has a plan. If we just do what we can, we'll get where we need to go. That's the bottom. So that's what we have to know. Every person, no matter what he went through, no matter where I've been, I still can't rectify everything. That's why I'm here now. I'm here now because it's possible to pick up, rectify, and correct every problem. That's this mem also. Who are Golas Atzmos? See, this Aleph Mem Yud. It's moving from the Golas itself. From what I just telling you, I'm taking you down the Golas. That's the Yeshua. That's a shame that protects a person, that helps a person, that lifts a person. Kol Zeh Lahira Yishu Kol Shigam Tchil Shavida Ba'Golas. Take it. Amdor Yud Hanal Shavida Latzim Shloish Dak Hasham. This Yud took care of us even from the very beginning. You just need to connect this Yud, you connect this place of which is Bechina of Tzitz, of course. That's what we're trying to get to. The place connecting to Hashem is one. We be one with you. That's how we change the Yudin to another way. And that's one of the most powerful ways. And Chalas is also this idea that a person would hope to Hashem with his whole heart, just turns to Hashem, whatever he was, whatever his machshava is, and Hashem says, "Oh, where are you?" He looks for him. Rebbe also says, he's searching, he brings out this incredible light from before creation. It's like even the worst places, also this light is incredibly high light. But the Chalas, that's what's called the Kal, this place is the Kal that made this line, the very beginning of creation, to bring the person to this empty space. Is this Kav is Lush of Kivu, when you really hope to Hashem with your heart, you're searching for Hashem with your heart, that reveals direct line to Hashem. It's also Kav telephone, right? They have a Kav. That's what he says. This is the Kav, it's direct line to Hashem. You don't need any malach to pick tefillah because you're connecting with your whole heart. You're there, mamash, and you can do that no matter what for care. You read the Rabbi Nachman says a person can speak the truest words, the deepest place, honestly, with his whole heart. It's even has the biggest potential for connect. For just another second, we'll finish. Well, let's finish with the shtack. We don't have to stay there. Actually, we tell them then we picked up to Aliyah. That's getting this idea of ayel, of revealing the incredibly high light. That's giving me life even in this place. There's no place without Hashem. We're saying this as well. I was saying, Shor Pasuk, Vahi Be'esahi, Vayir Yehuda went down there. Yehuda's going down. So Achim said, get out of here. You sold Joseph. What did you do? So Yehuda went down. Zell. What will Yehuda do? He's leaving. And what's going on? They're about to start the Golos. He did this terrible thing, which was trying to Misaki and telling Yosef who knows what he did. And he's going down, and before the whole problem even hardly started, he already starts the process to give birth to Mashiach. Same thing every person in the Gula Pratis talks about. We have to know that's all from the British Shalom, and that everything can be changed around to good, and that every place can be changed around to something positive. We might not understand how right now, but it's possible. So it's our job to do whatever we can and never give up. And know that giving up does not really exist at all. And either before the problem, in the problem now, that's where the shame, if I just search, if I just look, I will get to the shame, this holy shame. I'll be able to reveal the shame is in this place, in this position, and uplift them to Hashem, and be better, and be really, really connected to Hashem. Slowly but surely, step by step, I'm able to lead the reader to a real, true idea.